of y is the y. And that means I'm gonna replace my f's of x with f's of y. But you know what, you guys, it's good you're asking all these questions about notation, because it's drawing your attention, so you're looking at it enough, you're paying attention to it, which is the start of getting exposed enough to it that you become familiar. So f sub y, we need to find that first. So again, this should be in your notes from the other day. I will try to make sure I factor things out right. Okay, so denominator, derivative of the numerator this time is 4x minus the numerator times the derivative of the denominator. Y is now the variable, so 1.6y, the derivative of that is 0, the derivative of that is 1.6y, all over our denominator squared. And cleaning it up, they both have a 4, they both have an x, they both have the e. I factored everything out of here, so I have a 1. I factored out everything except for 1.6y squared. So that's the derivative with respect to y, but now we want to find this, so we're going to take that and still treat y as the variable. So there's my denominator. The derivative of my numerator, again, kind of picture distributing the 4x through. So then I would have 4x times 1 is going to be a constant, but 4x is part of the coefficient here. So let's see, will that be negative 6.4x times 2y. Denominator, derivative, numerator, I'm just double checking. 4 times 1.6 should be 6.4. And then x is a number, so it's also multiplying y squared. And then the derivative of y squared is where I got this 2y. Okay, so 4 times x times 1.6 is where this came from. That's all a number that's multiplying y squared. And then here's the derivative of the y squared. So denominator, derivative of the numerator minus the numerator times the derivative of the denominator. And y is the variable. Okay, so they both have the e thing, and they both have an x. I multiplied the 4 through here, but remember there was a 4 in there. So oh, you know what? This is 4 times 1.6, and here's 4 times 1.6. So they also both have a negative, I'm going to factor the negative out with it, a negative 6.4. I'll back up and double check everything in a second. My neck hurts standing this close to the board looking at it, so okay, so I'm left only with the 2y, or no, just with the 2. And I factored the negative out also. And the 4 and the 1.6 went, the x and the y went, this went. So I'm left with just 1 minus 1.6y squared. And then alright, so let me back up and double check it all. I think I'm gonna clean it up a little bit more, but before I do that, I'm just double checking that there's not a sign error or something like that. Yep, I think it's all okay. So negative 6.4xy, and then 2 plus 1 is 3.
Can you explain how you get negative 6.4x times 2y there?
Over here, 4x is multiplying that difference, and so if you distribute 4x to this term, 4 times 1.6 is 6.4. So I'm taking the derivative of negative 6.4 xy squared with respect to y. So y is the variable. So all of this is just a number that's multiplying y squared. So constant multiples just get carried along. And then what would the derivative of y squared be? 2y. 2y, so that's where that came from.
Where did the 1 disappear to?
Oh, it's gone.
It becomes
Just
just.
4 times
There's no
x.
lines there.
And this is a constant, because x is being, y is the variable right now.
Mm-hmm.
So x is a constant, y is the variable, x is a constant. So what's the derivative of a constant?
0.
0.
But I thought.
Well, what is 4 times x times 1?
4x.
So if x is a constant, then the derivative of it is 0. So I was taking the derivative of the numerator at this point, and so the derivative of the 4x times 1 part became 0, and I only had to take the derivative of the 4x times 1.6y squared part. I mean, actually, I did take the derivative of the 4x part, it's just it was 0, so it doesn't show up. Is that coming together?
Almost.
I mean, it is messy, I mean, I will admit.